Steiner, Doctor of Medicine. Tonight's story has the title, A Glass of Fear.
Guardian of birth, healer of the sick, comforter of the aged. And the qualities of the worthy physician are three: the eye of an eagle, the heart of a lion, the hand of a woman.
Our actual medical case history tonight concerns the field of mental health. The object in point, a newspaper cartoon. The case in point, the creator of that cartoon, Richard Hopper, age 38, married, no children. Before the war, he was a struggling artist, with emphasis on the struggling. While he was in the Navy, he began to draw the adventures of a cartoon sailor named Salty, and Salty changed his life. After his discharge from service, Richard Hopper signed a contract with a national syndicate to distribute his daily cartoon in several hundred newspapers throughout the country. Dick is happily married to an attractive, devoted wife. All in all, he's a very fortunate young man, but Richard Hopper would be the last one in the world to agree.
Hello, Nancy.
Williams didn't get the cartoon.
Oh, hi, Marsh.
I did the best I could. The deadline.
Of course I know today's the deadline.
But he wrote me all morning.
Well, calm Williamson down. That's what an agent's supposed to do for me, isn't it? What do you mean, am I having trouble thinking this stuff up? Of course not. I knock this stuff off in minutes.
I went out on a limb.
Well, it's just that I haven't been feeling well lately. You know how it is. I'm sick.
You like them?
Hold on, Marsh. I told you the stuff is packaged. It's here. It's ready to go. If you'll get off the phone, I'll call the messenger.
Williams, get the cartoon.
course I won't forget. Goodbye. Hello, pharmacy? Who is this? This is Dick Hopper calling. Has my wife been in there this afternoon? She was going to pick up a couple of bottles of that Vitatonic for me.
Did he?
Well, check, will you?
Which is red?
She left an hour ago. Well, thanks, Mr. Miller. Yes, it's nothing serious.
Maybe that will give you an idea, Doctor. The big item this month is Vitatonic. Last month it was called something like Miracle Salts. I used to laugh at him at first. I thought it was funny. It's not funny anymore. Doctor, I'm worried about Dick. I'm really worried.
I must say I don't blame you. About this big emotional outburst, when did that happen?
It was just last night. He got up with a pain in his stomach. He hasn't been sleeping well for weeks. He asked me to get him some tonic. Not this, some other kind he's been taking. I got the bottle out of the medicine cabinet. Accidentally, I dropped it in the sink. It broke. The way he stormed in, I could hardly believe it. I've never seen him like that before. All over a bottle of that silly tonic. He got absolutely hysterical. Kidding, so he's even making me jittery.
Well, Nancy, I must say that I don't find anything serious in his file. 3 major checkups, and a couple of specific complaints, both negative. He was in fine health. Of course, that was only up to a year ago.
Kept checking him time and again. Kept telling him there was nothing wrong with him. So now he's diagnosing himself. He picks his own diseases. Berger's disease, cancer, leukemia, heart trouble. The specialists all tell him that he's in perfect health, yet he keeps on complaining. He's turned into a real hypochondriac.
Well, if he is a hypochondriac, it's still an illness, as much as polio or Berger's or any other disease. And even if those aches and pains are caused mentally, they're just as real and just as painful as if the physical cause were there. Well, these things are pretty complex, Nancy, and guessing is no way to approach them. But it sounds like Dick needs psychiatric help.
I could never talk him into that. He won't listen to me. Doctor, I wonder if you'd drop by the apartment and talk to him.
Dr. Steiner. Why should I talk to him? Well, give me one good reason. Why?
Dick, please listen to me.
I'm through listening to you. I'm not going to see Dr. Steiner, and that's that. He doesn't know a thing about my case. I proved that months ago. He doesn't know a thing. Now, just forget it. Hi, Marsh.
Hi. Williamson didn't get the cartoon yesterday afternoon.
Sit down, Marsh.
He also didn't get it this morning.
Can I get you something? It's rough. This helps a little, not much.
You told me on the phone yesterday that you were finished. You lied to me. You weren't halfway finished.
Look, Marsh, I've been fighting this stomach. You know the trouble I have, and then these headaches. I thought I could get this stuff finished, but Nancy didn't get back with the medicine, and... well, I hope Williamson didn't ride you.
You got me burned, brother. Burned, baked, and broiled. I don't like it.
And I don't like being sick. What are you crying about? Isn't that what an agent gets 10% for? You don't know what I go through. You work with the finished cartoons. After the work's done, then you move in. Sure, that's easy. That's fine, but where were you when this was blank?
I'll tell you where. Where I've been for the last 6 months. In Williamson's office, trying everything to keep them from dropping you.
Dropping me? Drop Salty? Ah,
Hey, what's all the shouting about?
Salty. He's trying to tell me they're going to drop Salty.
Williamson told me this morning he'd like to keep Salty and drop you.
Drop me? But I own Salty.
He's offering you 25% of what you're getting now as a royalty.
You're kidding. He must be kidding. I have a contract.
The option's up in 2 months.
Marsh, isn't there something you can do?
I did the best I could do, Nancy. I'm sorry.
You're sorry. I'll bet you're sorry. What an agent you are. You grab 10% to handle the top cartoon feature in the country, and what do? You louse it up.
Dick, how can you talk like that? Marsh, it can't be that serious.
For the last 6 months, it's been going downhill. Let's face it, it's flat. Salty isn't funny anymore.
Oh, is that your opinion, Mr. Agent? Salty isn't funny anymore.
That's my opinion.
All right. Naturally, you wouldn't want to handle a cartoon that's not funny. Okay. You're fired. Understand? You're out.
Dick, please, take it easy. You don't mean that.
That's all right, Nancy. If that's the way he wants it, it's fine with me. Goodbye, Nancy. Good luck.
Thanks. I'll need luck the way you messed this up. Dropping Salty, offering me 25%. You're no talent parasite. Go on, get out. All right, get out. And stay out. Glad to be rid of you. Been riding me for years, making a living off me. I'm sick of it. I'm sick and tired of it. Sick and tired. Sick and tired. Hello. Oh, hi, Mr. Williamson. Yeah, Talman told you right. I'm handling Salty myself now. What seems to be the problem? The last 2 weeks have been in ahead of deadline. Not funny. Well, you never told me that before. Look, Mr. Williamson, I think I'm a better judge of that than Thursday and Friday? All right, sir. I'll get some replacements out to you. Bye.
How about it? Pretty?
Another one?
Another? First in 6 months. You don't want me topped at the Harrisons, do you? Honey, tomorrow's the Harrisons' party. You haven't forgotten, have you?
I'm afraid I have. I'm sorry, Nancy. I can't make it.
But you promised a month ago.
I said I'm sorry. I gotta work.
You'd work better if you get away from that desk once in a while. Relax a little bit.
Relax. It's a stupid party. Eating all the wrong foods, those poison drinks, and breathing on all that smoke.
It's fun once in a while. Forget your job. Forget Salty. Might help you work a little bit.
Please. Don't tell me how to work. It's hard enough as it is, without any amateur advice.
I'm sorry.
How would a party help? Talking to all those stupid friends of yours.
They're your friends, too.
I haven't got any friends. Making me go to a party when I'm sick. When are you going to stop dragging me to parties when you know I'm sick?
If you're that sick, go see a doctor, but don't go in there and take any more of those quack remedies and expect them to do you any good.
Look, my health is my business. A lot you care anyway, just so you don't have to miss a party.
Forget the party. I wouldn't enjoy it anyway. I'm just saying if you're sick, go see a doctor. Find a doctor that's good for you. Someone you'll listen to. Then take his advice.
I've seen doctors, plenty of doctors, you know that.
And they've told you and told you and told you there's nothing wrong with you, Dick.
You think that way too, don't you? I know that. I've known it for a year. I know what goes on. Big laugh, huh?
What are you talking about?
You know what I'm talking about. Dick's funny. Always worrying about himself, thinking he's sick. Big joke. Very funny. Lots of laughs.
But that's not true, and you know it.
I know what goes on behind my back. I'm tired of it. I'm tired of being sick and not getting any sympathy, no understanding from you. And I'm tired of breaking my back at that drawing board every day to keep this place going. So you can have a car of your own, all the clothes you want, jewelry, the best of furniture, the best of everything.
I didn't ask for it, Dick.
No, but you sure take it. And I'm tired of giving. Giving all the time. Don't you think I'd like to get out of this rat race and do something else? Something I really want to do?
Well, tell me, what is it? What do you want to do? I'll help any way I can, but it certainly doesn't make much sense going on the way we have been.
You're right. It sure doesn't. And I'm glad you finally realized that. All right, how do we wind it up? Do you want to leave or shall I?
Leave? What do you mean?
Well, let's face it, there's no use stalling around about it. It hasn't worked out. It's obvious. We're no good for each other.
Dick, we're both tired. We're upset. Let's talk about it later.
We're going to talk about it right now. Let's face it, I can't stand it any longer.
Dick, please, let's talk about it later.
There isn't going to be any later. I can't stand it. I told you it's too much. I told you I can't take it any longer. I'm a sick man, but I've got to work. I've got to save my job. I can't do it with you on my back. Can't you see that? Give me a break, won't you?
You really mean that, don't you?
Of course I mean it. How many times do I have to tell you? I can't make it with you. It's finished. It's over.
Dick, there's only one thing I have to say, and then I'll be quiet. I think you're a sick man. Not the way you think, not physically. But you're sick and you're a fool. Well, you won't listen to the doctors. You're too smart for everybody. You're a fool and you won't get over this thing until you stop being a fool. That's all I have to say.
Nancy, you've been married for 8 years. That's a long time. 8 years. You don't just throw it away in a few minutes.
It isn't just a few minutes. He's felt this way for a long time. He told me he's felt this way for years.
Right now, I think he needs you more than anyone else.
I couldn't go back. Not now. I can't explain it, Doctor, but it just wouldn't work. I know it's a lot to ask, Dr. Steiner, but would you try to see him? Try to help him. Do something for him.
Mr. Hopper, as I told you, I didn't feel we needed these added tests to be sure. But here they are as you requested, the neurologist's X-ray report, the ophthalmologist's report. Mr. Hopper, you don't have the slightest evidence of a brain tumor.
No, I suppose my hand isn't stiffening. I don't have these headaches.
Well, of course you have, but not from a brain tumor.
They're symptoms of a brain tumor. I've studied up on it. They're very positive symptoms.
The human mind, Mr. Hopper, is a very intricate machine. It's fully capable of manufacturing certain symptoms of cancer.
I can't believe you, Doctor. I know I'm sick. Somewhere, somehow, there's somebody who can help me. I know it. I need help. I'm sick, Doctor. I'm sick.
Last thing I remember, last thing as I was going out, was I didn't want to die. More than anything else, I didn't want to die.
It's good to hear. There was a time I wondered about it.
What happened to me, Doctor? I had everything I wanted. And suddenly everything was gone. What happened?
I think you should know better than anyone.
I guess I do. Your health goes, everything goes. That was it.
I don't think I understand that. What was your big problem?
Headaches. I had splitting headaches. I was trying to draw with a hand that was as stiff as a board.
You had medical advice. The doctors who checked you said you were physically sound.
I don't care what they said. I felt it. I can feel the stiffness now. I'm sick.
Now, wait a minute. Did anyone ever suggest that the trouble wasn't physical?
I felt it. I had the pain. I'd suffered with it.
Dick, you called me here because you wanted me to help you. That's right, isn't it?
You're the only one I could turn to. There's nobody else.
And I've just got one point to make. I can't help you unless you help yourself.
My mental condition, that's what you mean, isn't it? They suggested that. Mental help. Doctor, I'm not crazy. My mind's all right. I'm just nervous, that's all. I'm disturbed.
Now, you're an intelligent man, and you know that a need for mental help does not mean insanity.
Maybe so, maybe not. Even if I need it, I don't know if I could accept it.
Without your cooperation, there's not a thing I can do for you.
What do you mean by that? Won't help me? Is that what you're getting at?
No, it means that I can't help you unless you do cooperate.
All right, Doctor. I haven't got anything to lose. I'll try. I promise I'll try.
In the initial weeks, the patient was engaged in lengthy discussions of his problems and feelings. It was explained to him that behind most irrational fears of illness, there usually lies a subconscious wish to escape from some frustrating situation or conflict in the patient's life, to resolve such conflicts by a flight into illness. At this point, it became apparent that a psychiatrist would be of great assistance. The patient was referred to such a doctor, James A. McNally, M.D. His consultation with Dr. McNally covered a period of 7.5 months. During this time, Richard Hopper came to understand more clearly why his hypochondriacal fears had taken such different forms. Apparently, Richard Hopper's lifelong ambition had been painting, fine painting. His cartoon work, which had given him prestige, security, and a measure of wealth, had been accidental. But once enjoyed, it was difficult to renounce, even in favor of youthful ideals. Thus faced with a life situation which was growing more and more unbearable, he had sought escape by falling back on the excuse of being sick. The reason for this also became clear. In his childhood, Richard Hopper's parents had been overly strict with him. Sickness was the only excuse they would accept for any failure on his part. So when faced with an intolerable situation in adulthood, he'd unconsciously fallen back on the old childhood formula, the perfect excuse, the only one acceptable to his conscience. As he began to recognize and understand these patterns, Richard Hopper took his first important strides toward recovery. I was beginning to worry about you, Dick. It's been quite a while.
Yeah. A long trip through the deep, dark canyons of Richard Hopper's mind. Guess who the culprit was? The one who loused up the machinery.
No, I don't. What's your guess?
No guess at all. I know, or I'm beginning to know.
Oh?
Yeah. Here's the culprit. Salty.
Well, that's too bad. I always liked Salty. Too bad to see him turn out guilty. You sure he's it?
For the most part, anyway. It's funny. A few lines on a piece of paper. You do it day after day after day. 11 years ago. Amazing, isn't it? Salty's brought me a lot. And he's cost me a lot.
Well, it's just about an even break, wouldn't you say?
I guess. Still, he reminds me of a lot. Navy, war years out in the Pacific, all the guys I knew. Salty's come a long way. I was just a kid when I started. The great times. I guess there are always great times when you're a kid, young, full of ideas.
And how about when you're not a kid anymore? When you have to grow up whether you want to or not. How about that?
Yeah, how about that? Look, Doctor, I want to be an artist. I mean a serious artist. I finally got around to admitting it, even to myself.
You decided what you're going to do about it?
I think so. I'm going to sell Salty down the river for 25%. Then I'm going to go to work. I'm going to move out of my apartment into something smaller.
Sounds like a pretty fair idea.
You really think so, Doctor? You don't think I'm throwing Salty away, wasting him?
Salty's had his inning. He's lived long enough. I think it's your turn now.
You said you wanted to get started by 4 to miss all the traffic. You're not even packed yet.
I'll do it. You know, I'm glad I divorced Salty instead of you.